Well, folks, I started asking around about prices for the fall of 2026. And the response I got was, well, Ryan, prices are expected to work lower, so we are in no rush to lock in business for the fall of next year. Welcome to episode 90, folks. Let's talk about it here. Let's get after it. Suzanne Jackson with Market Master joining me this week. Let's rock and roll. Hey, folks. Welcome to the What the Futures podcast, your quick guide to better farming decisions. Well, folks, welcome into episode 90 of the What the Futures podcast. Of course, recorded each and every week in the UPL studio. I think it's 90, right? I'm pretty sure it's 90. That means we're, 10 away from our 100th episode. Wow. I got to start planning. For that. I want to give a shout out to UPL once again here. We're down to just the last couple of hats, but I really appreciate UPL stepping up this summer, buying 350 of these hats, all the proceeds going to the CCAW to support that mental health crisis line. Of course, that's a number available 24/7. If you're having a tough moment, if you want to talk to somebody, these folks know farming, they know mental health. They can help you. 1-866-FARMS with an S01. That is the Farmer Crisis Line. Use it. It's there. It's available 24/7. Put it in your earbuds while you're combining. Whenever you need someone to talk to, they're there for you. So thank you again, UPL, for stepping up, and excited to partner with them again next year in this initiative. All right, we're almost at 450 YouTube subscribers, so go hit the subscribe button for me. We're trying to hit 500 before the end of summer, right? So you're doing a great job. Phenomenal job. You guys are blowing my mind here on hitting that subscribe button. But you want to subscribe because of the live stream, which we had going Tuesdays at 1:00. I took a month off with Egg in Motion, holidays, camping, stuff like that. But the reason you want to hit the subscribe button is that we go live on YouTube. It goes to X as well. I don't know if there's a way to get notified that we're live on X. And if the stars align, it'll be Facebook and Instagram. But we are going to try to kick a little butt here this fall. We're going to try to do more live episodes, more live streams. I know how to hit the button now. Actually, I just looked. I was wondering if I was live now, because I have to click a button to turn it on and off. But anyways, I'm not. I'm good. We're good for Friday. But I know how to do it. It's quick. It's easy for me. And I might just jump on sporadically as big things happen this harvest. Almost like not a harvest play-by-play, but more about like what the future's here. We got to talk about this real quick. And of course, we've got a bunch of content here this week we need to cover. And most of it's not that fun. Folks, it's really not that fun. But what is fun is Suzanne Jackson with Market Master joins me this week. Suzanne, of course, doing a great job as a grain broker out of the Edmonton area, talks to lots of farmers across the prairie. So I wanted an update on harvest. I wanted an update on what the buyers, what they're feeling like, what their strategy is. Suzanne talks to those folks, so I want to get her opinion. And then, of course, she'll join us in Moose Jaw, covering some of the, more of the beginner type crop marketing stuff. So some stuff about contracts, what you need to look for, some of the terminology. Suzanne's really good at all that. So she's going to join us in Moose Jaw. As people ask, is this conference for like advanced people? And my answer is absolutely not. It is for everyone, every skill level. We will challenge you as a beginner. We will challenge you as an advanced crop marketer as well. That's what we bring in, folks that cover everything. All right. So yeah, we're going to have some fun with it. Go hit that subscribe button though, and get those live streams. You get a little alert on your phone, a little notification saying, hey, What the Futures is live. And away you go. All right. The harvest photo contest, guys, you're crushing it on the YouTube. You're crushing it on the voicemail. Thank you, Tyler, this week, a doozy of a voicemail. But where we are lacking here a bit, folks, just let's rally for a moment. Let's rally. Harvest photo contest. All right. It's quiet out there, and I know you're harvesting. My friends up in the Peace region, come on. The peas are off. They're in the bin. My my folks in southern Saskatchewan, southern Alberta, like, hey guys, let's get going here. You have a chance. This is a trip for two to Halifax, Nova Scotia. November 22nd to 30th is the Olympic curling trials. You're going to see the cream of the crop here in Halifax. You're going to see the top curlers. I know we have a lot of curling fans that listen to the show. You have tickets to every draw. You have your flights covered, your hotel covered. We actually put you in a nice spot too, 300 meters from the event center. So we got great hotel and 3 square meals a day in the VIP lounge at the event. All right. This is unbelievable value. You're going to have a great time. And I think there's even a $200 spending free in the merch store as well. So I don't know who your favorite curler is, but I'll tell you, I'm working hard behind the scenes here with Curling Canada to try to get a few curling guests here for this harvest this fall. All right. Now, if you've never been to Nova Scotia, folks, to Halifax specifically, I'm not going to go into detail, but I had a couple of memorable nights in Halifax. I highly recommend it. And you could see things like Peggy's Cove. All right. It's very easy to get to Peggy's Cove. You can see things on where our ancestors got off the boat to enter Canada. You can go and check out that museum. I was at an event one night, an award ceremony thing in that spot. It was a great facility. It was a great time. Anyways, you could see that. Now, don't forget the folks on the East Coast. They know how to party. All right. So there's the Alexander Keith's Brewery, one of the pubs down there as well, not far from the brewery. I think they have Alexander Keith's piped right into that facility, like not even a keg. It's just straight out of the brewery. It has to be, because I got into one that in that pub, and they had 5 bands playing that night, folks. 5 at the same time. It's a heck of a town to party in. There's also is it Beely's or is it Burley's? There we go. Burley's House of Blues. That would be on the hit list as well. Halifax, Nova Scotia, November 22nd to 30th. We got 2 tickets to your flights, hotel, food. All you have to do, ryandenis.ca/harvest-photo. You'll see it on the website. Submit your harvest photos. If it's your kids riding with you in the combine. Actually, Clayton, you just texted me a photo of your family in the combine. If you put that on the website, dude, you'd be entered. You'd be taking the whole family to watch curling for a week in Halifax. All right. So get those photos going. Let's get going, folks. The odds right now are phenomenal. There's no competition yet. All right. So let's do this. We're going to draw the winner in mid-October. All right. One last housekeeping thing before we talk markets. I have my playlist up and running on YouTube Music. What the Futures #Harvest25. We started you off on the live show Tuesday. I said, why don't we go with something that is a little bit inspirational. It's maybe going to get your karaoke voice going a little bit. It was unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield. It's got to get beat to it, a little bit softer. You can kind of work your way into your karaoke. And I think if we want to follow that up, there's over 100 songs on here. I do play around with them, move them around a little bit. But if we continue down this gentle path of karaoke, like, why don't we go and throw in, let's throw in some Pitch Perfect. Let's throw in Pitch Perfect, Bulletproof versus Release Me. That'll just keep your karaoke voice going. All right. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not all of this karaoke stuff. It gets heavy as well. We've got some I Mother Earth in there, some Limp Bizkit, some Everclear, Fatboy Slim, like Avicii. It's gonna take you places, folks. It's gonna take you places. So check that out. YouTube Music again. What the Futures #Harvest25. The playlist has range. A little late on country. It's a little late on country, but you can go to maybe the spring playlist and get a little more country music on that one. All right. Okay. Let's talk markets. Now, I better get some liquid courage here. I'm actually drinking a dark lager here this evening. So a nice humid evening at our place, and this is doing the trick. All right. I was reminded of this today. So the comment was, I have 105 cars. of yellow peas coming, and I don't, as a buyer, I have nothing bought. All right. So as a farmer, if you heard that there are 105 cars coming for yellow peas, I have nothing bought, that would be bullish. That would feel bullish. You need to buy them. I have them. Price will climb. I'll fill those cars for you, right? Well, since that comment was made, the price of yellow peas in that facility has dropped over 30 cents a bushel. Okay. Over, I don't know if it's been 24 hours. Now, what I want to remind folks of is when I hear that statement too, I was getting kind of excited. I was like, well, maybe there's a chance. Because when I was talking to the farmer, he said, you know, Ryan, I did a big amount here at just over $9. You know, you've been encouraging the sales, encouraging us to get this done, taking some big leaps. But, you know, do I still go and clean up? Do I still go and finish this off and get all my peas off farm? And I said, yeah, that's what we'd like to do. Now, there will be a point where you stop that, where you say, wow, that's gone low enough now where I'm just going to hold back. But at that level, if it was 8.25, which is the scenario we talked about maybe negotiating some other things in there. But anyways, I said, yeah, I would pull the trigger on that and get the deal done. I don't want to store these yellow peas. All right. And now the pea bid is under $8 in that region, but I don't want to store these things. And there will be that point of like, okay, well, now I'm going to wait. But what I want to remind folks is that 105 cars. So we used to get, you know, they'd say, hey, we're sending you 105 or 100 cars or whatever it was back in the day. We're going to send you these cars. We're looking for peas. And we say, okay, cool. And they'd say, well, you know, what can you do? And then all of a sudden we'd get the switcheroo. We'd get the, okay, you know what? Your location, you didn't buy anything here for peas, or you bought a little bit. So we'll take that. But we're going to fill the rest of those cars with something else. And they'd say, we're going to fill the rest of the cars with, well, you got barley in store there. Let's take that. We can move that at the coast. So we'll do that. Or we do a grocery train. A grocery train was, we didn't like doing the grocery trains. You're not as efficient loading a grocery train, but we do, all right, 10 cars of canola, 20 cars of peas, 30 cars of barley, a bunch of CPS wheat or whatever it was. And you'd send that away. But what happened, the reason we didn't get those pea cars is that somebody else, some other location, more often than not, bought those peas. Some other area of growers said, hey, I want to move these peas at your posted bid or at your offer, and I'm going to do that. And they said, okay, location, Ryan's location, you guys didn't do it. You know, the location over there, they did. So the cars, we're getting our peas from there now. Okay, so just because you hear that, hey, I need to fill 105 cars, it doesn't, it feels bullish. You want it to be bullish, but yet it doesn't mean it is. Things, they swap cars all the time. They swap what they want all the time. And of course, they move those trains around as a last resort. They will move them around too. All right. So that's what I had to say about that. It again feels bullish, but sometimes it isn't. I wanted to talk next here about wheat specials. I wrote it's called the wheat dilemma. And the reason I call it the wheat dilemma is that by the time you listen to this, I don't know where we'll be harvest wise, but we had this little window of opportunity to grab these little premiums, grab these little specials, and try to, move some wheat off combine here. And I don't like just doing a naked, doing a basis and being completely exposed on futures. I know you look at the wheat futures and you say, well, Ryan, they're essentially not doing anything like they should bottom here, or they look like they're bottoming. Like, it's not a time to be scared of wheat futures, but I still am scared of wheat futures. As of recording let's do December at 590 off Minneapolis. We've been between $6 and $5.85 for the last almost 3 weeks. Slow grind. Within that, we had a couple of basis improvements, but a very slow grind here on wheat. You want to go back to a full month ago, a full 5 weeks ago. Now that market's a 620 to 585, right? Snail's pace, brutal. And so I understand how you'd sit here and say, well, don't worry about it. You talk about the harvest rally, Ryan. Like the harvest rally last year started. Oh man, when was it? Late August, rallied early September. Here we gained 50 cents a bushel. Hey, yeah, sure. I'd like to be optimistic on that, but what I'm hearing a lot of is farms just taking a basis, delivering that wheat in, or considering paying some storage, and it's just a tough look. And this is a good example too, but it just means that competitive nature in price improvement, it doesn't need to happen because they have the wheat, right? Not saying that's going to rally futures a bunch either, but it can a little bit. But here's a really interesting one. So I talked to my buddy at All Bushel Consulting. We had coffee this morning. We're recording Wednesday, August 20th. And she has a client that hit it out of the park, did a futures first wheat contract, locked in futures currency, did it a long time ago, sitting on a phenomenal opportunity here. The location where this is going to get delivered is offering bring me your wheat, free storage till the end of October, and then 5 cents a month storage fee after that, priced by the end of June. So if farms take advantage of that offer, they look at that offer and say, that works for me, then All Bushel's client, that basis doesn't have to improve to buy any additional wheat because they're offering this storage type of program. Farmers deliver, they fill up. They don't have to make that basis any better. Where this farm, this could be a home run swing because futures are down. You need to hit a magic number as a grain buyer. Basis improves usually in that scenario. And he's sitting there saying, I got my futures locked in way higher than they are today. And so, I don't know if anyone's going to feel bad for the guy. Probably not. But it's just a really good example of how, these storage programs, how deliver now, roll it all the way to March. Don't worry about it. Like, it's a little bit of games. And, the wheat market, in my opinion, still needs to go score a low here this fall. And it's going to be determined by the bushels and what you guys do with them. But I think those bushels, the count is so early to tell. But right now, my count would be a little higher than expected, not lower. We'll see. It's way too early to call it. That's where I'm at. So it's a wheat dilemma because just be cautious. Again, I like getting some floors secured. And I'm going to talk about it here a little bit in eating your veggies in a moment. Now, the other thing here, I'm going to say this to you guys, because I know that it's just all farmers listening to this part. So if you're a grain buyer, you need to hit the forward button here. But if you're a merchant, I would encourage you to send me an email, ryan@whatthefuturespodcast.ca. Let me know how far off base I am and call me crazy because it would make me feel better. And come on the show and let's talk about the demand for Canadian product out there, because this is going to sound crazy, but I am a little bit concerned about the action that I'm seeing here for movement. I don't like the pea thing. I understand maybe the most because I've been bearish peas for like many for a long time here, and I didn't think we'd see anything magical for peas, but I was hoping to see a bit more pull from the elevators, a bit more pull to the coast. I know farmers didn't do a lot of selling, so maybe merchants also said, "Hey, we're not going to move a lot." But I have this little concern. All right, there's just this little concern that we're gonna harvest just a slightly bigger crop than we thought, just slightly bigger, but that we're gonna get a little bit jammed up here. We're gonna get a little bit jammed up going into the early part of winter. I hope that's wrong. I hope the merchants are laughing in their chairs right now saying this guy's completely off base. We got so much business booked, but something just seems a bit off right now. And I hope that I'm completely wrong, but I will be watching and trying to figure out, hopefully we can go back to the episode from August 22nd and say, man, that guy was, he's off his rocker because we were moving a pile of crop out of this country and demand is phenomenal. All right. Okay. Other things in crop markets, canola trend. lower. I was, cautiously optimistic last week, but now I just need to comment that I didn't see enough action here to turn bullish. I often get a little excited about a little canola rally into the September long weekend, but I'm just not quite there. The chart setup to me is not great, and that's okay. We will go and score our harvest low here. But the reason I brought it up today is that I've said it before on the show, but your canola marketing for a farm as you travel north in the prairies, you can't screw that one up, right? And so, if you're looking at yield estimates or guesses, and you're looking at price, and there's profit there, and there's enough profit to take over some of your losses in your wheat crop or your barley crop, just don't mess around too much. Protect that whole farm margin and be proactive. Be proactive on the canola. Don't leave it to chance. Oil World raising their estimates for our production here this week. Again, who knows? I know the Berthas were trying to take us down a peg on the farm here this week, and I know for many of you as well. So we're out spraying, but I just think the trend here, we're going to go score a low. You may want to get a little bit more proactive, though. Just that's the one you don't mess that one up. All right, it's got to pay the bills, and you might not like $14 canola, but if it's 14 times 50 or 55, and that number is big enough to offset a loss in another crop, I just think about it. All right. Okay. Last one here for crop markets, peas, yellow peas, and greens too off a cliff. Jesus, Murphy, the green peas, guys, come on. We got bleaching issues out there. We got some, what did I read? Mold issues or something too on green peas. Green peas are ugly. I'm talking my position. We got green peas that we're harvesting right now. So anyway, peas off a cliff. What the futures has your back though. All right. We've got your back at the show because we told you to be aggressive in yellow peas. I'm pretty sure we said it a couple of times. I hope we said it. I should have went back and listened. But down like $1.20 a bushel in some areas, down 75 cents in a bunch of areas. But we're going to try to keep you informed as best we can, try to help you market. And I just want to say we got your back. So I hope we helped in that situation, and I hope you took advantage. All right. Okay. Now, other than that, for marketing, I try not to get too worked up this time of year. I can get worked up. I'm sure my dad's listening to this. He's going to chuckle in the cab of the combine because he knows that I'll throw some wild strategies in front of him around this time. Because I know the drop is coming and it's going to be worse. And then you're sit there and say, well, what's the recovery going to be? What type of recovery do we have here? What's going to rally this market to higher than today's values? But, it's one of those things where hopefully you've put yourself in a position where you feel good today. I think that's one of the things that stood out for me this week. I've done a lot of consulting work this week. And I think a couple of weeks ago, people weren't feeling great, but I had this week 3 farms just like sigh of relief. I feel good. Harvest is just starting to happen, and I feel like I can breathe and go and tackle this project, go and tackle this load now. And I'd say the common theme on those farms is north of 50% sold on many of their crops, with a plan in place for upside. And also, we've looked at the big picture. We have figured out some numbers, our best guesses as harvest rolls on profitability on the farm. And we found a path to profitability. And so by doing that, by seeing these big numbers and seeing that the farm is in the black on what we've sorted out, I can just see that sigh of relief, some marketing, some decisions being made, and just a weight coming off. All right. So I think that's a big one, or that has been a big one for me this week. All right, folks, let's move on here from the crop marketing stuff. All right, folks, it is that time of year. It's harvest time. I want to give a shout out to the folks out there working in our John Deere parts departments, working in our John Deere service departments, top-notch service. quality parts, and inventory. Always great inventory at John Deere as well, which is appreciated. Those folks are going down the roads, putting in the big days. And so just wanted to give them a shout out and a thank you for their efforts as well. So be nice to your John Deere service techs. Grab them a coffee or some donuts if they're helping you out in the field. And let's get this crop in the bin here for 2025. All right, folks, I've got Suzanne Jackson with Market Master joining me once again on the What the Futures podcast. Suzanne, how's the week going?
It is sure going. It's a shocker of yet another week going into harvest.
Yeah, it's been busy. Like I've been swamped from crop marketing side. Like I was off last week, so it's a bit of catch up too, but I just feel like it's full on right now from a crop marketing perspective. So are you starting to feel a bit of that as well? I know our area is a little delayed from a harvest perspective, but you starting to feel some of that crunch?
Well, it's really weird because, of course, everybody's worried about delays and rain and everything like that. So every day is one of those, yeah, we're getting into it. And then the next day is like rain delay. So everybody's kind of on edge right now. So hoping for the weather to clear up and get really rolling and move on forward through this thing, right?
If it doesn't clear up, I'm opening up a mushroom farm because our grass was like everybody else mid-June, not doing well. And now I think we've had rain maybe 5 nights in a row here. It's very tropical and my mushroom crop is just phenomenal. So that's my game plan.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, the bigger they get, the kids think they're amazing, right?
Yeah, for sure. So you talked to a lot of farmers across the prairies. You guys, you have a huge reach, in Western Canada. Anything harvest-wise kind of standing out for you early on in the south or up in the north? Quality, yield, anything kind of standing out for 2025?
It's big in my backyard here. So what I mean by that is everybody's looking out and saying, oh man, crops are phenomenal. Or, hey, it is so bad this year. What a write-off. So hard to imagine that there is areas that are really hard hit with the drought this year, especially when you're in an area such as like Bird, Beaumont, South Edmonton area, and it is so wet. And we are seeing, a little excessive water this week, but you get up to areas like, St. Paul, Bonnyville, and they're in really bad condition.
Brutal dry there. Yeah.
Oh, crazy. And then you get down like Lethbridge area and they're having phenomenal crops this year. Castor, Consort, best crops they'll see in a lot of years, but it's a very big bit in my backyard here where people can't believe how extremes we're seeing across the whole province because it is so varied. And that's affecting a lot of people and how they're marketing too, because guys who are in areas where it is hit really hard with the drought are like, well, prices are just horrible because, we're not getting a crop this year and it's going to be so bad. And then you got other guys who are like, wow, oh my God, like this, I hate to say great crop is going to affect the markets. And it is, but it's a very big year where people can't understand how it is on somebody else's property. So it's going to be one to see how the final yields do come in across the province.
I look at the growing season and obviously the northern drought, like northern Manitoba, northern Saskatchewan, northern Alberta. And then when you back that off, go south, just the rain events, even on our own farm, we have such variability this year because one area of the farm had 4 inches of rain. The other area had 1.5 inches. And on the same, farm, not that far apart, but the storms were kind of weird in 2025. So tough year for crop marketing as well. I've been chatting with buyers at the line companies and obviously seeing social media and chatting with farmers. What sense do you have here from a sales side? Like have people turned the corner and been sellers of this market? Do you think there's a lot done? Do you think there's very little done, somewhere in between? What temperature, what gauge do you have on that?
A personal opinion completely. So I don't want anyone to take it, with any sense of whatever. But it's a very undersold crop. Watching how we've been marketing ourselves as well as discussing with buyers and sellers, there's not a lot of marketing done like compared to usual years. Understandable from a farmer's aspect when it's, May 30th and we're seeing it's 30 degrees out. What do you want to do, right? I mean, how can you want to forward crop when you think you're going into a great drought year again? But there wasn't a lot of forward contracting done. And even now, farmers have not been aggressively marketing throughout the summer. And now we're seeing that we're coming into this year and there hasn't been a lot of forward marketing done. And now we're seeing prices kind of start to reflect that. As we're getting further into the season, prices have backed off and it's now getting what's going to be next. We're going to a, big barley season for when people want to move it off the combine. And we've got stuff coming in from the US. We've got corn and barley and wheat coming in from the US already, and it's affecting the markets. And next week, when people start to combine and see their yields and bin space requirements, how is that going to affect the market next? We've got canola that's, hasn't even been thrashed yet. And people are like, oh, well, canola prices are pretty bad. I have a very personal opinion on that. I was just looking back a year ago, canola was only $12.20. So comparative to a year ago, I hate to say we're over almost $2 a bushel better than where we were. So I don't know if personally I would be making moves in some of these markets before we see the influx of crop coming. But there hasn't been a lot done. And so it's going to be interesting as we do progress through harvest, and we might see some bin space issues in some areas. And buyers have been buying stuff elsewhere, coming in from the States or coming in from other areas, that there may be an influx of crop coming. Or they haven't, like we know, made a lot of sales based on what has been done because they're waiting for the crop to come. So it's going to be interesting to see what the next 3-4 weeks brings.
Yeah, 100%. I got a couple follow-ups here, but I was looking at canola year over year as well. And so a 12-month period, we're up 10.5% compared to last year. All right, 61.90 a ton is what they're quoting here. On the year, just this year, 2025, we're up 7.2% right now, up $44 a ton. So even January 1 to now. And so, yeah, we've lost over the last month 7%, but still tracking better than this time last year by a fair margin. So, do you think that this is a loaded question for you, but I want to ask it anyway? But do you think that with the lack of selling, that there are premiums coming from buyers in a weird way as harvest gets rolling? Like, are you seeing a little chance on anything premium wise, or do you think it's the farmer's going to be pulling the trigger here instead? We
had been seeing them for the last 3 weeks. So buyers had been short waiting for new crop. So for the past couple weeks, we've seen those premiums on barley, those premiums on wheat for rush movement. So if you had stuff in the bin, barley was still going down, but was at a premium to new crop. So, for example, today, if you have barley in the bin and you can ship it next week, it's $5 picked up, kind of like Hay Lakes area, Camrose area. But if you're shipping it in September, it's $4.87. So there's a 20-cent premium for old crop, but it's only because you can ship it in the next week. So there are those little premiums to be had on those, transition crop between old and new crop. And some places did require a 2-week sweat period on old crop sometimes. So there are some premiums to be had on old crop, but it's still relative to the new crop market. So is it a premium? Yes.
Yeah. It's a 3 weeks ago, it wasn't, but now it kind of is a small one. Like, yeah.
Relative, right?
Yeah. It's like I said this earlier this week. I did a live on Tuesday night, but I said something along the lines of like $7.50 wheat. Like you might look at that and grab your barf bucket and say that's disgusting. But then if it goes to $6.50 or $6.75 and in October you get offered $7.50, you sit there and say, oh, wow, thank goodness it got back to $7.50, right? I'm going to take some of that now. So it's just sad how it changes. It evolves and changes over time, but it does. And people get used to a certain level or a certain price, and then the emotions change. And then what looked nasty is now you're thrilled that you're back there and making the sale. So Yeah. Is there any crops or undersold farms a little more undersold than past years? I think that's a fair comment out there. I still think we have the hangover of 2021 of that drought year impacting our crop marketing decisions, and then we relive that for 6 weeks here, or 8 weeks, or if you farm in Bonnyville or Cold Lake, you've lived it all year, right, with the drought. So it caused us to stay patient and not do much. Do you think as harvest starts up here that farmers, do you think they're throwing it in the bin and locking it up, or do you think that there's going to be some cash flow needs that need to be met?
It's a hard one. I've had this discussion with quite a few buyers. One crop I do think that is probably undersold is canola. And I don't think the China situation is helping. I think that's put a very negative spin on where pricing is, even though realistically it's high. And I hate saying that because I know I'm going to get a lot of negative flack on that. But realistically, we're higher than we were last year. And, $14 when you look at historical pricing is not horrible. So the China thing is not helping because people are seeing it and taking it as a very negative thought on the canola price. So we're not selling because we've got a negative connotation on something that's actually at a historical decent price. So there hasn't been a lot of moves made, even though we're talking about something that's decent. So I think that's very undersold right now, and it's not helping because we're going to go into a crop that's actually not bad yields in quite a few areas as long as we get it off. I hate saying that because weather patterns, I think it was 2017, we did see a very similar weather pattern. I hate bringing that up at all because if anyone remembers 2017, we did a lot of spring combining. Pretty sure it's 2017. I forgot about that. Yeah. So that's the only thing I'm next fearful of is, what happens if, right? So that's always sticking in the back of my mind is the year where we did millions of acres of spring combining. So that's the only thing that I'm worried about right now is that if you're contracting canola and we go into that. So otherwise wheat's another big one. There hasn't been a lot of plays made in wheat because people were like, oh, $8.50 wheat, that's a horrible price too. But now I think a lot of people wish they would have made plays on $8.50 wheat as well.
Yeah.
Barley, people were actually marketing barley. We did, don't want to say like thousands of tons of barley, but people were marketing barley when it was at $5.50, $5.40 because it was a decent price. Historically, it's a pretty average price. It's good. So they were making plays on that. And oats, because there was some good options on oats and people were comparing it to, what prices were out there for wheat and stuff like that. So those two, I think people were making more plays on. And peas, I think lately more people are making plays on peas. So I think wheat and canola were the more undersold crops.
So do you think when you talk to the buy side of this, the buyer side, are they just waiting for it to come now and saying, hey, like it's going to come, the crops across the prairies are average? And just going back to your canola comment, I read this morning from Oil World, they raised their canola estimate from, I think it was 18.7 to 19.4 million tons of production. Not a scary number by any means, but they did raise it they quoted or cited good weather in Alberta as the biggest reason. Are the buyers going to sit back here and say, I've got space and I'm going to do the buying? Or do you think that we'll see another run up in some type of specials or opportunities or something to grab these tons?
I don't think we'll see anybody making any plays anytime soon. And not only because we've got harvest and cyclic markets, they don't typically make any plays at this time. We don't see much happen between now and November. If you look back at markets anytime over this usual period, it doesn't happen. But also we've got so many other factors at play in politics as well that just why? Peas, there's nowhere for it to go. We don't have any other outlets. China doesn't want them. India's got peas. Wheat, we're not having any other great relations or anything politically to help it move right now, right? So just why? What's the point of them going out and making any great plays at this point?
Okay. So from the buyer side, you think that there's not any real magic there at this time, maybe later on this winter, but right at this time, no real magic coming from the buyer side. Is that fair?
Yes, unless you know something different.
I think there, like you said, over the last 3 weeks, there's been things, but the chase is on for me. Like the chase has been on, and I hate chasing these markets low. But I got a great question from a farmer the other day about, what percent sold should I be on yellow peas, and I said 100, like 100%. And at the time, the markets were right around 9 in his area. And I said, that's 100 for me, like be 100. The markets will face their harvest pressure and there'll be some type of recovery, but I don't like the politics involved right now. I don't like the thought around more production out there. I don't get the warm and fuzzy, so I'd rather get that gone at that price value. And so the chase is on, and wheat as well. I had to eat my pride with some farms and eat my words a bit and say, hey, I didn't want to get too aggressive at 8, but how about 750? And these are my reasons why. Like, I've been selling some of this wheat. Like, I've been, doing some stuff here as offers have popped up. I've been trying to stay on them and stay somewhat aggressive on them and stay ahead, because in 3 to 4 weeks, it gets darker. It just gets darker, and we will work out of it, folks. We do. But when and to what level and how does that look? I don't know. So, all right, Suzanne. Well, I think we did a good job of covering off 2025 here so far. Before we switch to 2026, though, any crop out there that you deal with that you're like, hey, this one is the, if everyone knew this in the spring, this is the silver bullet one. Is there any that stand out from a price perspective or stability where you're like, this crop's going to do okay?
Flax seems to be one that people are still buying more aggressively. And seems to be holding, and that might have a little bit of a run in it because there's still people quite aggressively looking for flax. And biggest thing to remember with flax, though, is it's a cyclic market. It ships from October till like the end of November and then drops off, usually, if it follows cyclic markets. And then it may come back in the spring. So just keep that in mind if you're a flax grower. We do see it kind of follow that same market every year because it's going out to Europe and all those kind of things that happens typically, but can change. And then lentils have been pretty good too.
Okay.
They've been holding fairly steady comparative to other pulse crops. They may also drop off, but they've been steadier than the other ones.
Yep.
So that'll be interesting to see if they do change from, going to be unsteady like every other pulse crop, but they've been a little bit of a brighter spot.
Well, and I hope those flax farms out there, I hope they, I hope this growing season was friendly to them, because, man, if you can pull off some of these decent yields, this flax yields have been getting a little greater the last couple of years, and multiply that by the price per bushel being offered out there. Yeah, you're paying the bills. I know flax might be a little more work, but definitely paying the bills. So, okay, perfect. Now, I've been bugging you about values for the fall of 2026. Farmers are trying to make fertilizer decisions, which impacts some rotation decisions as well. That's a hot topic of mine. I'm always trying to think far out, as far out as I can. So I said, Suzanne, what's going on for fall of 2026? Give me a bunch of bids. I want to do a crop ranking and I want to see what's going on. And what did you get back, Suzanne? What came back from your buyers?
Wow. Well, I got the I think it's going to go lower this year. So before I start to price next year, I want to see how far it goes down. So that was a shocker because usually people aren't as concerned about how low it's going to go before next year. Even like looking at peas and stuff, we can usually start to get buyers interested because they want to get acres on for next year. And typically when we start to see new crop pricing will be November. So we're not that far really from November. And we'll start to get new crop pricing in November, and that'll be oats, peas, lentils, flax. We'll start to get new crop pricing for next crop year in a couple months. So people are already starting to think about it. We'll have them for shows coming up at that time. And this year it was, I want to see how low this is going to go before I start thinking about it. Not a good sign.
Yeah. Well, no, not a good sign. And obviously that's, just, I don't want to say isolated comments, but it's an opinion and it's comments out there, and that's fine. But then when you start to layer in some charts of other commodities, so, commodities that are trading, and you start to talk to people that, maybe are technical traders instead of, fundamental traders. And then you start to see, well, oh boy, like that chart doesn't look great. That chart is in a downtrend, continues to be in a downtrend. When does that end, right? Or the technical folks looking at certain crops saying, geez, I think there's another X amount % of downside here in some of these crops. Like, again, you hope everybody's wrong. You get the rally of a century and away you go. But, the trend right now is they always say the trend is your friend. And at this moment, it doesn't feel like it, but it's trending lower. So yeah, I was hoping you'd come back to me with, values that showed carry in the market, that showed, some willingness to own some acres for next year. I was trying to be optimistic and didn't quite get it yet. So that's all right. We'll get it, but not quite yet.
The biggest thing is nobody can predict any of this. If a couple of years ago we said that a war was going to start in Ukraine, nobody would have agreed with you. Yeah. So wilder factors have determined markets than what we ever can. So we'll see.
And like I always go back to you have to grow it, right? And so, you might it might be doom and gloom, but yet when you get a production hiccup or an issue somewhere around the globe, that moves markets in a hurry, and even local markets. You get a localized drought or localized weather event. Geez, I was listening to the ag hour here on 840 CFCW, and I believe the weather forecast talked about frost, right? Like things happen. So again, I wouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater for next year yet, but it's you still have to grow it. And I like buying some fertilizer. I like selling some crop. I like building a margin plan, and I just can't quite do that yet. I can do it on canola. I can do it on wheat. And yeah, I was hoping to do it on 10 other crops. Just can't quite get there yet. So patience it is, right? Patience it is. All right, Suzanne, you're going to join us in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. You're going to take the plane or the drive over to Moose Jaw, which we appreciate. Of course, conference tickets, we're down to about 34 pairs of tickets to go. So it's, I don't know when we'll say sold out. Last year was late October. I feel it might be a bit sooner than that this year, but look forward to you joining us in Moose Jaw. I get asked all the time from farmers, what skill level do I need to have to attend this conference? And my answer is, this is for everyone. We have keynote speakers talking about big subjects. We have breakout sessions, and I would consider breakout sessions with different categories, different skill levels. And Suzanne, you're someone who came into the industry from outside, not from the farm per se, and came into it. And so what are you going to talk about when we see you in Moose Jaw in December?
So because I did not come from the farming industry, I actually didn't even know what a grain broker was when I started this job. So I want to sit and chat with people about things they should know when they're booking grain. So we do all day, we talk about with farmers and buyers, how should we market grain? And basically like what should you look for in a contract? What should you look for in opportunities? And we want to get back to the basics of that. When you're looking at a contract, I mean, there's a lot of gibberish in that. So what are the differences in contracts between companies? What do you need to kind of protect yourself? But then also when you're working with a buyer, how can we make those work better for farmers too? So we work closely with a lot of our companies and be like, hey, you know what? I get that this is what you're looking for, but here's what farmers are looking for too. So we do work closely with our buyers and be like, this is why farmers are not happy with you. How can we build this into a better relationship? So we have quite a few buyers that, we work with and help them to understand what people are looking for in the industry, but as well as helping farmers understand that a buyer has the right to buy what they want and that it is also the responsibility of a farmer to understand what the buyer is buying. So we want to be able to explain that a little bit better. And then, just back to the basics, like what is basis and what are futures? So a little bit more on the getting back to understanding what we're actually doing in the industry and how to ask questions. And like I always say to people, there's no dumb question, because when I started in here, I didn't know what a bushel was. Like somebody said to me, what is a bushel? I'd be like, okay, well, hey, what is a bushel? So really the nitty gritty of back to basics, because I mean, I used to call my first time I called a farmer, I said to him like, hey, like what product do you have on the farm? And they were like, who the hell is this? Like, what do you mean product? So I was as green as you could possibly be in the industry. And I want to be able to help people and know that they know that there's no dumb question to ask. Because that's what we work with, some people who've never farmed before. I mean, we actually do get calls from people who their grandfather died and now they're taking over a farm. And there are questions that people are afraid to ask. And I want them to have an outlet to be able to call somebody and be like, okay, I've never farmed before. Can you explain to me, what it does mean when a truck of grain comes to get picked up? So we're as basic as that, and just having that outlet for people to be able to ask questions. And we're going to go through some of the more basic terms, but then of course, a little bit more into contracts and stuff like that.
Awesome. No, that sounds great, Suzanne. We all have to start somewhere, and I think even a refresher for folks as well. So look forward to you leading a breakout session, getting back to basics in some way, some degree, and you'll have a great group there working with you. So awesome. Appreciate that. I know I started buying grain. Same thing. I didn't know about buying grain. So my first week or two, might have been 2 weeks, they took my chair, put it beside Brad Morrow, who had been buying grain for a long time, and said, don't move. Just sit here and listen to what this guy says for the next 2 weeks. And I was like, all right, I had my notebook and I just sat beside Brad and just listened to everything Brad had to say. A lot of baloney, a lot of hot air coming out of Brad back then. But yeah. All right, Suzanne, thanks for joining me here on episode 90 of the What the Futures podcast. When you warm up those 2026 bids for me, give me a call. I'll get some crop rankings out there, all right?
Will do.
All right, take care.
You too.
So positive moments for me for this week. I went to Alberta Open Farm Days, or Alberta Farm Open Days. Anyways, it's a lot of we went to a woodworking shop down the road with the wildflowers, but it's a cool experience. It's really well organized. The things that stood out for me, we had 3 stops. I took the kids. We had 3 stops. Had conversation. I wore this hat. Had conversations about mental health at all 3 stops. Okay, so that was like huge. But just connecting like with our neighbors more than anything. But we went and went to the wildflower place, got Chantel some flowers. The kids picked out some nice flowers. So we got in Mom's Good Books this week. And then while we're there, the woodworking lady, she's going to make us a massive crib board for the conference, because we have the silent auction. So it's going to be a crib board for that silent auction item. And then we also have some she's making some smaller ones as giveaways for merch at the conference as well. So we have some crib board stuff. Then we go to the next stop, Jackson Homesteaders, and they have an entire lineup. There's a dozen antique tractors, and you can sit on all of them. Well, Finley was just it was heaven for him. And then we could also jump in the cab of the 680 combine, the 4-wheel drive tractors, all green paint across the farm, which of course we appreciate here at What the Futures. And I got to listen to a farmer explain to a bunch of city folk the process of some of the machines, right, and what they do, and then you hear some of the folks as well. And I'm not here to pick on city folks. You're doing different things. You're not on the farm every day, but it's really cool to see the education part. It's really cool to see the like enlightenment or whatever you want to call it. But man, like some of the comments, even Finley was like correcting some of the stuff that people were saying, that what they were calling some of the machines. Finley's looking at him like, no, that's a tractor. That's a sprayer. Dad, that's a sprayer. I'm like, yeah, buddy, that's a sprayer. You got it, man. We're going to let you lead the group here right away. So it was great time. And then we went to Fellowship Farms, got loaded up on some beef. We did some ribeyes here this week. And just great to connect. And it was a great time. My second positive moment is harvest is on for Denis Farms. The boys are cruising. I shouldn't say the boys, because mom's out there giving her like she does all the time. My mom is a big operator on the farm. She drives the sprayer. She drives the combine. She's out there in her combine this fall. But the farm is off to the races, and support from Jeff, Trevor, Colton. My sister's out there. Adele's out there right now. Mom and dad, it's a full operation. I know I'm missing a couple as well, so someone's going to scold me here, but it's on, right? And everyone's there and everyone's getting into it. So it's good. So far, so good. All right. That's it for positive moments here for episode 90. All right, folks. Let's get to the voicemail portion of the episode here. Of course, to participate in this contest, we're giving away an 11-piece John Deere wrench set. Of course, the voicemail is voicemail sponsored by the Crop Marketing Made Cool Conference, which is just over 60% sold. And of course, is for all levels. So check that out, ryandenis.ca. I'm getting applications every couple days now, so tickets are moving. Last year we sold out end of October. We'll see about this year. So if you want a ticket, get after it. Get your application in. All right. So let's listen to Tyler. He hit us up on the voicemail this week. Tyler from Swan River. Let's get to his question.
Hey, Ryan. It's Tyler Betcher calling from up in Swan River, Manitoba. Just wanted to take a minute here and thank you for putting this podcast out. Between yourself and your guests, there's definitely a lot of useful information that gets put out, and I appreciate that. So looking forward to getting the harvest playlist going as well. We're not out in the fields yet, but looking like in the next week or so here. Question for you. I know nobody's got a crystal ball, but given prices of commodities and fertilizer, would you be putting more wheat, less wheat, or the same amount of wheat in your rotation for next year? So I know it's a bit location dependent, but just looking to see what your thoughts were around the future of wheat, I suppose. Thanks.
Well, Tyler, I appreciate the comments, the positive comments there right off the hop. So I really, thank you for that. Of course, we wish all the information was top-notch, bang on, that people could make lots of money off of. But hey, we're out here trying. So appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in from Swan River. All right. So 2026, less wheat, more wheat, or the same. The problem I have right now is that I don't have quite yet. I don't have the other cereal comparables. Okay. I don't have the barley value feed barley, malt barley. I don't have the oat value. I assume that you still want to put those into cereals, but I'm going to let you in on a little bit of a secret here. I think wheat acres are going to come down. I think across the prairies, wheat acres are going to come down just a little bit. We love growing wheat. It's a great day of harvest on the farm. But I think wheat acres are going to decline here a little bit. I think canola acres are going up. I don't think anyone's surprised by those comments. Like for me, I would like to see less wheat. Okay. I would like to see less wheat on the farm. I would like to see less wheat if the oat margin looks a little bit better, if the barley margin hangs in there. I'd like to see a little less wheat. Now, I think that you can control your destiny here, though, a little bit. Like our farm, we love growing wheat. We don't really like growing oats. We may have to grow oats out of necessity, but we don't really like growing oats. Many of you do. I don't know. We don't. At this point, we're not enjoying the oats a whole bunch. Our malt barley is risky. We feel that's a very high risk. So it's a tough one to add more acres. And we feel like we try to put in as much as we can to manage because it has been a good margin crop for us. So yeah. So for me, the what I would say here is that you can control your destiny in wheat. If you really love growing wheat, and you're looking at, how do you grow wheat? How do you grow more wheat? Or how do you grow the same acres? If you can pencil out your numbers and look down into the future and say, well, you know what? The 590 that's being offered to me off December of 2025, those futures, that doesn't work for me. But the 655 off December of 2026, you know what? That extra 65 cents, that is enough to get me to profitability. If you look at that number, which not long ago was 7, or a little rally to 675, if that gets you into a path of profitability, then you control your destiny on what you want to do with your wheat acres. But the reality is here today, folks, if I look at a chart, we are still bearish wheat futures. We look at a market that is going to grind sideways to lower. And, we hope, we cross our fingers, we hope that, that we get selling opportunities during the winter, during the spring, during the growing season. We sit here and hope that we get those chances so we can take those big bites and get closer to a break even. My fertilizer costs on the farm, I'm going to say they're up 10% over last year. I hope that they aren't, but I'd say they're up about 10%. I would say that our yield, we'll see where we sit, but even if I want to be optimistic on a 70 bushel wheat crop, I'm at 857 a bushel for a break even. And I'm staring down prices, even if I want to be a bit generous and drive a little further, I'm going to say I'm at $7 here. Like I need to figure out how to generate $100, $110 an acre to break even on my wheat. And so if those numbers aren't working for you, if those numbers don't work, if you can't find how to make that work, if you can't make $7 wheat work or $6.50 or whatever it's going to be, is there another wheat you can grow? Is there a high bushel, lower quality wheat you can grow? Is there a way you can add bushels, do a better job of growing the crop, change things up to try to get more wheat bushels? But I got to make up that gap. And so if that number is going to be that big, how do I do less? And is there an oat number that works? Is there a barley number that works? I don't know yet. So that's the problem. So Tyler, it's a great question. I'm going to say that we are going to plant less wheat across the prairies. I'm going to say that wheat prices are going to continue to work their way lower. You could still be a heck of a marketer. You could still hit it out of the park in your wheat market. I'm not saying you can't, but I just think that we're in that path of quiet market, grinding lower, looking for a spark. We're going to do less acres. You should do less acres. Everyone should do less acres if you can find a cereal or something to put there that makes money, that pencils out. I did a presentation in 2024, and I said 2024, I was like, this isn't the hard year, guys. Like, if you think this is the hard year, if you're really stressed about this year, like, this ain't the hard year. I'm like, 2025, that's going to be a tough year. Like that's going to be hard. 2026 though, like those years, 25, 26, 27, like that looks to me like it's going to be tough years. Thankfully this year, we did see some rallies. We did see a path to profitability on some of these crops. I think we can all try to hit the black. Again, there's always areas of drought and less crops, but yeah. So anyways, less wheat. That's what I would aim for, unless you've got some other high bushel, high yielding wheat variety that you can mix in there and try to make up that gap. Again, I think $550 an acre to $600 an acre of costs, paying everything, living. Again, your number may be different. If you're sitting here saying, man, my costs are only $450 an acre, you could grow all the wheat you want, Tyler. You can just have fun with it, right? Make money growing wheat. But on my farm, we got to figure out less wheat, or we got to figure out how to make up that gap, right? Okay. Keep it up, guys. whatthefuturespodcast.ca. That's where you have to go. Hit the voicemail button. Leave me a message. I'll respond to you either through the podcast or directly, and usually both. And I appreciate it. You get entered to win those 11-piece metric John Deere wrenches. We're going to draw for that August 29th is when we're going to draw for that. All right. So stay tuned. All right, folks, let's move over to eating your veggies this week. 3 things for you. This lifted a weight for farmers this week, so I'm going to say it here. Yield guess, or your actual yield, times average price. What do you have sold? What do you project the rest of your sales at? Full farm dollars. What are you staring down? And just quick math on, is that black, red? Where are we at? But if you are in the red, then figuring out, maybe it's window math in the combine, but figuring out where that number is to get you at that break-even point, to get you in the black. All right. I think if you spend some time doing that, you'll just to get a bit more clarity and hopefully some peace with that as well. Number 2, if you are getting offered a wheat special, take a peek at it. All right. There's a strategy you can consider, get a worst case scenario penciled in. Oh, I don't like the setup we have going on with wheat, guys. I don't like it at all. I don't like that you're all going to deliver your wheat, throw it on a basis contract and say, all right, what do we do? I don't like it, guys. All right. I'd rather have a floor. I'd rather have a worst case, even though it's not a fun worst case, even though it's a real crappy worst case scenario. I'd rather see that. Okay. Last one, storage plan, delivery plan. All right. You're in the thick of it now. You probably have this figured out already, but it's been part of a lot of conversations here this week as well. What's my storage plan look like? Where am I putting it? How am I sampling it? How am I keeping it separate? This all matters. If you're harvesting malt on this day, you get a weather event, and keep that separate. Do a good job sampling your crop. Even with this year with the rains, I think we've had rain 5 nights in a row now in my area. Take lots of samples. Don't be shy on the samples. Separate your grain as best you can. There may be premiums for certain things that you separate and segregate. All right. So storage plan, figure that out. Delivery plan. When are you going to move this grain? How are you going to move it? Buyers are pushing us up into October, November already. They're pushing us into October, November. I got a yellow pea offer. They're like, it's for November though. Like, what about now? We don't want any now. We're done. Like, we haven't even harvested yet. We're done. Figure out your delivery plan. Tie that in with cash flow. You know what to do. All right, folks. Well, thanks for hanging out here for episode 90 of the What the Futures podcast. Thank you to Suzanne Jackson for joining me. Any comments, questions, hit me up on social media. send me an email, ryan@whatthefuturespodcast.ca. Keep them coming. I got one that I'm going to think on because Ian asked a question, but there was some F-bombs in there as well and some passion. And so I'm going to circle back to that one because it's a big topic that I want to cover in the next few weeks. Keep them coming though. ryan@whatthefuturespodcast.ca. Don't be a stranger. I'm here. If you have a question, I'm happy to help, or I'm happy to provide, a thought on it. And if you like the show, tell your friends, share it with your neighbors, and let's keep growing the community here. I certainly do appreciate that. Yeah. For the What the Futures podcast, my name is Ryan. And, cheers. I'm out of here.